a lady here. The judiciary fund report. Do you have an extra copy? She says.
Let's pray. Almighty God, who in wisdom and goodness have appointed the office of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with abundant favor as your servants whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests we have committed to our charge. Amen. Do you have the numbers? Very well. Let's start.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Where's the leader of the majority party? He has some papers to.
That's enough to give papers every day.
Well, if leader doesn't have any papers to lay.
The papers. Give me my chance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, the staff of Parliament, they have put these papers here hidden, but I found out. I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, November 22nd, 2018 morning sitting. 1, sessional paper number 2 of 2018 on the National Ethics and Anti-Corruption Policy from the Office of the Auditor General and Department of Justice. Number 2, draft Judicial Code of Conduct and Ethics and the explanatory memorandum pursuant to Section 47(3) of the Judicial Service Act 2011 and Section 3A and 11(1) of the Statutory Instruments Act 2013. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Leader, just before you lay them, the first one, I think there must be something, because National Ethics and Anti-Corruption Corruption Policy from the Office of, it is written Auditor General and Department of Justice. Is it Auditor General or Attorney General? I think it's good.
The document, Mr. Speaker, reads Office of the Attorney General and Department of Justice on National Ethics and Anti-Corruption Policy. So that is the paper. So it is a staff of Parliament
So
who have, when they were typing.
exactly.
So I think next time they should not make me read something which is not
From the Attorney General, yes.
Yeah, and that's why we need the Parliament Service Commission bill.
The chairperson, Departmental Committee on Labor, Honorable Wario.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, November 22nd, 2018. Reports of the Departmental Committee on Labor and Social Welfare. 1, the 44th ACLAC Governing Council meeting for ministers responsible for labor, employment, manpower issues, and high-level symposium on social dialogue and tripartism held from 19 to 23 February 2018 in Zulueni, Switzerland. And second, the Conference on Labor Migration Crisis held at Chatham House in London, United Kingdom from 15th to 20th October 2018. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Once again, Honorable Wario, I think that place, Zulueni, is Swaziland, not
Swaziland, yes.
not Switzerland.
Swaziland.
Exactly.
It's Swaziland, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
The chairperson, Departmental Committee on Agriculture, Honorable Adan Haji.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, November 22nd, 2018, report of the Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock on 1, the Coffee Symposium held in Grand Island, Nebraska, USA from 16th to 18th April 2018. 2, exchange program visit to Turkey from 23rd March to 1st April 2018. And finally, 3, China International Tea Export held in Guangzhou, China from 18th to 20 May 2018. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Chairperson, Administration and National Security. This report was brought to my office earlier today, and I approved it. The chair of the Committee on Administration and National Security, or the vice chair, none is present to table the report, and the report is on a bill. Very well. Move to the next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Honorable Haji.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House notes the report of the Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock on the China International Tea Expo held in Guangzhou, China from 18 to 20 May 2018. laid on the table of the House today, Thursday, November 22, 2018. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Have you given notice? Proceed. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to give notice of the following motion that this House notes the report of Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock on the exchange program visit to Turkey from 23rd March to 1st April 2018, laid on the table of the House today, Thursday, November 22, 2018. Finally, Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion that this House notes the report of the Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock on the Coffee Symposium held in Grand Island, Nebraska, USA from 16th to 18th April 2018, laid on the table of the House today, Thursday, November 22nd, 2018. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
The first question is by the member for Samburu East, Honorable Jackton Lekumontare.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask question number 207 of 2018, the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, Energy. Is the Cabinet Secretary aware that one Samo Lemna, a miner from Wamba East Ward in Samburu East, had her hand amputated as a result of electric burn from unattended low-lying power cables on the Wamba-Swari high transmission power line by the contractor? B, could the minister consider waiving the hospital bill incurred by the family as a result of this accident and further compensation to the family of the girl for the damages? C, what measures is the ministry putting in place to ensure that the power line from Wamba to Swari is properly fixed to mitigate recurrence of such incidents? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Question referred to the Departmental Committee on Energy to prioritize. Yes, Honorable Pukose.
Mr. Speaker, looking at the question, it's asking, it's more related with the health, not with the energy actually. Because when you talk of the hospital bill and the issue of even injuries being suffered, it is more to do with industrial injuries that somebody sustains. And this could better be prosecuted by the Ministry of Health.
And on the contrary, the issues which are raised in this question it seems to suggest some element of negligence on the part of the ministry that handles matters to do with energy, power lines. Because talking about low-lying power cables, and two, just a minute, Honorable Pukose. As a result of that, somebody suffered some amputation, and in case the ministry is responsible for some form of negligence, then obviously the member is right to imagine that they should then be the ones responsible for the costs incurred as a result of that amputation. So the Ministry of Health may not be, if they came and saying that, no, that was caused by the negligence of the Ministry of Energy, or is it Kenya Power, whatever other, then you see the member will be left without any serious response. If they came and admitted to negligence, then obviously the member is right to seek compensation from that ministry that caused that amputation. So I think you, Honorable Pukose, and in any event, since it is you to whom the question is referred, I'm sure you fit very well in both the dockets. Having been being the vice chair of health and being a surgeon, and who is the immediate past vice chair of health, I'm sure that second B, that part B of the question, you will find it very interesting to assist in giving a response. The next question, our members, is by the member for West Mugirango, Honorable Vincent Kemosi Mogaka, who has requested that it be deferred on account of his absence from the chamber with the leave of the Speaker. Next question is by the member for Magarini, Honorable Michael Toya Kingi, who have also seen a letter requesting deferment on account. I've also approved his absence. So again, that one is deferred. The next question is by the member for Homa Bay Town, the Honorable Peter Kaluma. Is it that he does not desire to be present? Well, I will adopt the practice suggested by the leader of the minority party. We'll come back to the question when we are through with the others. Thanks, Honorable John Bandy. Your proposal makes a lot of sense. The next question is by the member for Tharaka Nithi County. Member for Tharaka Nithi County, Beatrice Nkadha Nyaga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving this opportunity to ask my question 224 of 2018 to the Cabinet Secretary for Transport, Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development. Is the Cabinet Secretary aware that all the roads and the bridges in Tharaka Nithi County are in bad state, with huge potholes, and the bridges have no rail guards, which have run to over 20 accidents for the last 1 year? B, what measures is the ministry putting in place to ensure that roads in Tharaka Nithi Highway are repaired and maintained, including construction of guardrails on the bridges? Could the ministry consider compensating victims of road accidents that are as a result of accidents due to poor maintenance of roads and the bridges in Tharaka Nithi County? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Referring to the Departmental Committee on Transport, Public Works and Housing. The next question is by the member for Kadui constituency. Honourable members, is away on official duties? Is he? And earlier in the morning, for the second time. My attention has been drawn to the fact that the Honorable Kaluma has written to me expressing his inability to be present in the House today. For that reason, then, his question is deferred. Member for Kandui constituency. No indication. I have no record of his inability to be present. Question is dropped. There had been an indication that there is a member who intended to make a statement, but the member sneaked in a statement for my approval just about the time when there are instructions that I cannot look at statements and the papers, because I'm not just supposed to approve documents. I need to read and see what it is that a member is saying. Therefore, when you sneak them after 2 p.m., you just bear in mind that it will be dealt with not on that day. If it's to be, not at that current sitting. So the member Godfrey Osotsi, I will look at your statement, then and see whether to approve or not to approve. But most likely, if it's a personal statement, unless it is making very outrageous things that would offend the rules of the House, most likely it will be approved. But I have not looked at it. I've just been being told that it has been brought to my office. So most likely, just you ought to have done this early in the morning, because I've been in the office since 8. I would have looked at it, but no problem. Most likely you will make the statement on Tuesday. Leader of the majority party.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2A, I rise to give a statement on behalf of the House Business Committee, and the committee met on Thursday this week at the rise, met on Tuesday this week at the rise of the House. The Speaker, on Tuesday next week, the following bills have been scheduled for second reading, if not concluded today: the Insurance Amendment Bill 2018, the Capital Markets Amendment Bill 2018, the Circle Societies Amendment Bill 2018, the Government Contracts Bill number 9 of 2018, the Assumption of Office of County Governor Bill, Senate Bill number 1 of 2018. On Wednesday, Mr. Speaker, this House will vote at the second reading for the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill number 4 of 2018. Speaker, I repeat that the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill number 4 of 2018 will be voted on Wednesday afternoon. Members should note that in accordance with Article 256, 1D of the Constitution, for a vote to take place on the bill and to pass to the next stage, 2/3 of members, 233 members, are required to be present and vote for it. Mr. Speaker, other business scheduled for consideration is debate on the following: the report on the Select Committee on National Government Constituency Development Fund, on digital innovation hubs, which is on the order paper, and this is important for single-member constituency. In order, the report is asking the House to give discretion on whether you want to use on establish the ICT innovation hubs, or you want to use that money for other infrastructure development. The report of the Departmental Committee on Health on Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital. The report of the Departmental Committee on Health on the protocol to eliminate illicit trade in tobacco products. The report of the Public Accounts Committee on the audited financial statements of the national government for the financial year 2014-2015, and the report of the Select Committee on delegated legislation on the fate of the Judiciary Fund Regulation. Speaker, in accordance with the Standing Order 42A, Section 5, relating to questions, I wish to convey that having consulted with the chairpersons of the Departmental Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, that of Energy and Information and Communication and Innovation, the following questions are scheduled for reply by specified cabinet secretaries. The first one is the Cabinet Secretary for Water and Irrigation will appear before the Committee on Environment and Natural Resources on Tuesday, 27th November 2018 to answer questions number 056 of 2018 from Honorable Zulekha Hassan, MP, and question 073, 2018 from the Honorable Kipruto Moi, MP. The Cabinet Secretary for Energy will appear before the Committee on Energy on Tuesday, 27th November to answer questions on number 072 from Honorable Kipruto Moi again, question number 074 from the Honorable Dr. Adan Kainan and MP, and question number 156 from the Honorable Vincent Mogaka. The Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication and Technology will appear before the Committee on Information and Communication on Tuesday, 27th November 2018 to answer questions number 158 from the Honorable Godfrey Osotsi. Finally, Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee will reconvene on Tuesday, 27th November 2018 at the rise of the House to consider business for the remaining part of the week. I now wish to lay the statement on the table of the House and ask members, come Wednesday on the 28th in the afternoon session, the question will be put for the second reading of the Constitutional Amendment of Kenya number 4 on the gender principle at 2:30 p.m.
Honourable members, I approved a question by private notice to be asked by the member for Kipkelion East, Honorable Limo. I will give him the chance to ask.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask a question under private. Honorable Speaker, I stand to ask a private question, Mr. Speaker, concerning opening and closing of schools in this country. Mr. Speaker, could the Cabinet Secretary, one, explain the process of formulating the annual school calendar which stipulates the opening and closing dates for each term for primary and secondary schools. Two, state whether there is involvement of relevant stakeholders in the process. And three, stipulate what measures the ministry is taking to ensure that the calendar is more flexible to ensure that the opening and closing dates do not coincide with the festive season, thus creating predictability and enhancement of the social well-being of the parents and students and the general public. Example, Mr. Speaker, for the year 2018-2019, the end year is 31st December 2018, and the new year is 1st January 2019, which falls on Monday and Tuesday, respectively, Mr. Speaker, and the schools are scheduled to open on Wednesday, 2nd January 2019. which doesn't go well with the parents and the students. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Well, because these matters are matters that would be best explained, and I think it's better that the House gets to know what exactly the Honorable Limo has. I have approved that question because I'm aware the House is scheduled to go to recess on the 6th of December, so that the Cabinet Secretary can come and clarify those issues before the House breaks for the long recess. So the committee chair of the Committee on Education is requested to prioritize it so that that matter can be clarified not just to the House but to the entire country, whether indeed there is the confusion that the Honorable Limo seems to suggest there is. Let's not answer the question ourselves. Member for Mwingi, what is your intervention?
Mr. Speaker, I want to draw the House to Article 35 of the Constitution.
You want to do what?
It's a point of...
Why?
It's a point...
You are standing under what? Standing under?
Regarding the questions which have been put.
Regarding what?
It's a point of order. Regarding
what is out of order?
Regarding the questions which have been put in the House.
What is...
Mr. Speaker,
what is it? You have a complaint?
Mr. Speaker.
Do you have a complaint?
Yes, I have a complaint.
What is the nature of your complaint?
The nature of complaint is cabinet secretaries are not availing themselves to members of parliament. Today, I attempted to see the CS for Defense just to access information, which my constituents have been asking me. How many people are going to be recruited under the recruitment which is coming?
Member Mwingi.
Yes.
You have said it's about questions.
Yes.
Then you went on to say you wanted to access.
Yes,
Now,
I'm now coming there.
That I don't deal with.
I'm now coming there, Mr. Speaker.
No. What is the question? Are you saying a question has been asked that has not been answered?
What I'm saying...
But when you say that you wanted to go and see the access, you know, I don't know. I don't even know where the CS...
It's actually a complaint, Mr. Speaker. I wish you could listen to me.
But not access. What is the question?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, if only cabinet secretaries can avail themselves to members of parliament, some of these questions which are being put here will reduce. Because like myself now, I'll be forced to put a question on the floor of the House.
Go ahead.
Because I attempted to see the CS and I was not able to see him. I was told you must come here with an appointment.
And that is not an outrageous statement. There's nothing out of order. You won't just walk into any office, you just wake up from your place of abode and walk into some
Many
office.
of the CSs are open to members of parliament, Mr. Speaker.
Who told you?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, yes.
No, you must have a point. The next thing you are going to say is that you want to walk into my office just because you are...
Are you saying, Mr. Speaker, I cannot walk to your office without an appointment?
But why don't you do the same?
Even to say hi to you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, then if you're just coming to say hi, because you can walk in.
Most of these CSs, we don't have their mobile numbers. Some of us, we don't have their telephone numbers, and sometimes you don't know how to reach them.
No, Honorable Muriungi, let me just come to your rescue.
It's very serious, Mr. Speaker.
Part of the reason why actually members are encouraged to raise questions. And if, for instance, the issue you have in mind is what you have just mentioned, alluded to.
Yes.
That's a kind of question that if you brought, I should be able to approve as a question by private notice because it's an urgent matter.
Yes.
Yeah? It's an urgent matter that needs to be responded to immediately. You see, because they say, I'm sure you are aware of this. When the mountain could not go to Muhammad, Muhammad went to the mountain. Now, if that mountain doesn't want, it doesn't even want you to be there, then let's bring the mountain here.
Okay.
And I think, Honorable Mlungi, if it's a matter that you think it's urgent, and and efforts to see a CS unsuccessful, just raise the matter. Just raise the question here. The CS. No. You know, I'm not going to be given information, rumors about those things about other people's offices. So please don't come to. This is a house of rules. No, you want to tell me that you said about the recruitment.
Yes, I wanted to know how many people will be recruited from my constituency, because people are asking. And I was not able to access the CS. And I was told you must come with an appointment. And I don't have a mobile number.
You see, I'm not going to direct that people go to others' offices without appointments. No, the member from Mwingi Central, you know, given his height, he's actually standing. He's not seated.
I'm talking this from experience. I'm a former PS, and my office was open.
There's another former PS.
I know, he was my colleague, and my office was open for access to any information. So when now I cannot reach a CS or a PS, I don't understand where we are going to.
That's how powerful they are.
They have become like mountains, which I cannot climb, and I'm too short. How will I reach there? But I stand guided, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Mlungi, if the matter is as urgent as you've just indicated,
yes,
please draft a question. It will be approved, so the information, in fact, the information will be useful even to all the members, because now it would have been useful only to you and your constituents. Now, when you ask it, all the CS will come and give all the recruitment per constituency, possibly.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's actually it's even better that you are not able to see the CS, so that you can ask the question, which will benefit the other members as well. So please, I encourage you to very urgently draft the question and style it questioned by private notice.
I stand guided, Mr. Speaker.
I believe it is something that the rest of the members may wish also to know before the House goes to recess.
I stand guided.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Tonda.
Order number 8.
But on our members, even because the House will obviously rise, possibly at 7 p.m. or such other time as it may be possible. It is important that we carry with ourselves into the weekend the message from the leader of the majority party that on Wednesday next week at 2 p.m., the House may have to be pushed, will be forced to put the question for second reading of the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4. I've had it being referred to erroneously by some other member, more notably the member for Nandi County as the dual yes, that one. That is the bill. The member for Nandi County understands it that way. It makes it easier for her to remember. But please, everybody, be present. Everybody is reminded that members will be voting on that day. There's nothing, this is just information. It's just a reminder, Honorable Kamket, this is just a reminder that that is on Wednesday. Since I've seen there has been overwhelming support, please show that support by your presence. And I can see the Deputy Leader of Majority is already taking a nap. He said because it's after lunch. The Deputy Leader of the Majority Party, I'm just reminding that on Wednesday, at 2:30 p.m., be present. People will expect you to be voting for that famous bill, Constitutional Kenya Amendment Bill number 4. Next order.
Order number 8, procedural motion, resolution to hold sitting on a specified Thursday morning.
Leader of Majority.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 30 subsection 3B, this House resolves to hold a morning sitting on Thursday, December 6, 2018, commencing at 9:30 for the purpose of considering priority business. Mr. Speaker, this matter was canvassed and adopted at the House business, but last week when we were doing the procedural motion, we forgot to include the last day of the calendar. So we did a motion for until the 29th, which is next Thursday. But because we want to sit and conclude all the pending business of the National Assembly, so that nobody accuses the House Business Committee of making certain businesses, either private or government, to lapse because of the end of the calendar year. So we felt that we should also add December the 6th, the last day, to have a morning sitting, so that we dispense off with all bills, both government and private, with all motions, with all protocols and treaties and reports of committees, so that this House can go on the holiday recess when we know that our tray is empty. And I hope, Mr. Speaker, as we do this, I hope the over 14 bills from this House, which lapsed in the 11th Parliament and now are about to lapse in the Senate, I hope our colleagues will do something between now and 6th of December. Because it will be very, very sad, Mr. Speaker, if we again next year, we again begin a process of dealing with the energy bill, the roads bill, the land index bill, the irrigation bill, the petroleum bill, the Public Finance Management Act Amendment Bill, the county pension scheme bill. Speaker, I don't know what's happening, but I think the people of Kenya were wise, very wise, when they established the Senate. They had a very good reason. And the reason is now that is to delay and to fail the process of legislation. I beg, that was a very, very good reason. So, Mr. Speaker, I hope the bills that we are going to pass the remaining days will also not stuck in the Senate. I beg to move and ask the Leader of Minority, a member of the House Business Committee, to second.
Honorable John Bandi.
Mr. Speaker, as I second, there is really nothing much to add because we had spoken about this issue. We had agreed that we sit Thursday mornings so that when we finish this session, we will have completed a number of bills. I also want to pray and hope that the Senate will pass the bills that we have already passed to the Senate. I also know that Senate is also complaining that there are bills that they refer to this House which we have not dealt with. The House Business Committee is trying to prioritize those bills and have them debated so that we have seamless relationship between the National Assembly and the Senate in terms of transacting the bills. But Mr. Speaker, I want to just add as I finish that the House, that Senate has been priding itself as the senior house, the upper house. Never mind that our Constitution did not really make that clear. But now, Mr. Speaker, we want to see. On Tuesday next week, there is a report going to the Senate on Ruaraka land, Mr. Speaker, and which this country has very serious interest in. And the vibes that it starts getting in the corridors is that that report may be defeated. Mr. Speaker, I would like to see, we are watching, if the Senate is likely to behave as a senior house. Now that we are going for referendum, we may reconsider and make it upper house as it is elsewhere, if they behave properly by making sure that such a report is treated with seriousness, is given attention that it deserves. We passed a report here of Ruaraka land, so the Senate should equally pass their report. If they defeat their report, then we will now know which house is serious in this country in terms of oversight. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, what's your point of order?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, is it in order for a member of parliament or National Assembly to lecture the Senate what to do? Are we going to be lectured by the Senate what to do in this house? Is that in order that a member of the National Assembly will lecture the Senate what to do? Will we have the reverse thing also happening, where we'll be lectured by a senator what to do in this house?
Well, honour members, that member is in the chamber. You know, honour members, I find absolutely nothing wrong with a member commenting. I have not heard of any lecture really. But also it may be desirable to appreciate the provisions of Article 95, Clause 4, more particularly Paragraph C of the Constitution, as to oversight on expenditure by national governments. Where it resides, I think it's a matter that nobody needs to find out where it is. And the matter being, which I think the Honorable John Bandi is raising, is one to do with the expenditure by a national government ministry. But it's neither here nor there. We leave everybody to do what they best know and how they best know to do. So I propose the question, which is that pursuant to the provision of Standing Order number 30, subsection 3, paragraph B, this House resolves to hold a morning sitting on Thursday, December 6, 2018, commencing at 9:30 a.m. for purposes of considering priority business. I put the question, which is that pursuant to the provision of Standing Order number 30, subsection 3, paragraph B, this House resolves to hold a morning sitting on Thursday, December 6, 2018, commencing at 9:30 a.m. for purposes of considering priority business. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Aye. As many as the contrary opinion say no? The ayes have it. Yes, Leader Majority.
Speaker, before we go to order number 9, I indulge you that we step down order number 9, Roman 2. And the reason is the amendments by Honorable Kimunya and amendments by Honorable Faith of Nyandarua, which have not been captured in the order paper. And we saw it after the order paper was published, and then there are some amendments the Attorney General maybe wants to send to us. So we will ask this order to be placed on the order paper on Tuesday, so that the amendments of Honorable Kimunya and Faith Gitau can be dealt with. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. For the reasons stated, I order that the business appearing on order number 9, Roman 2, be stepped down and therefore will not be considered when the House resolves into committee of the whole House. It's so ordered. Next order.
Order number 9, Committee of the whole House.
Honorable members, order. We are now in Committee of the whole House to consider the Warehouse Receipt System Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2017.
Clause 3.
I propose the question that Clause 3 be part of the bill. Chair? Mover? Honorable members, there are 3 proposed amendments to this. There is an amendment by the chair of the committee. There's an amendment, proposed amendment by the leader of majority, and there is a proposed amendment by the honorable. Yeah, just the two. So the first one, we shall have the first take by the chair.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to propose amendment to Clause 2 as it is stated in the order paper. And the justification is that the amendment defines the role of the warehouse operator more clearly, which is to hire out space. If you look at the bill, it only merely states that warehouse operator means a person engaging in the business of storing goods.
We are talking to Clause 3.
Clause 3.
Clause 3. We will come back to Clause 2 at the end.
Thank you, Chair. I rise to propose the amendment on Clause 3 as it's stated on the order paper of today. The amendment seeks to provide for appointment of the chairperson by the President. It further seeks to incorporate appointment of a member of the Kenya Bankers Association, which is a very important member, and as well the Kenya Warehouse Operator Association and the Consumer Federation of Kenya, so as to make the body more inclusive and accommodate more stakeholders for ease of operation. Thank you.
Honorable members, I would just like to give directions on this, considering that there are 2 amendments to the same clause. The one that has been prosecuted by the chair by the committee. And if the House agrees with the chair, then the one by the leader of majority will fall by the way. But we'll give you an opportunity to prosecute it, because this is the one by the chair. So let's prosecute this one, then we'll come to the one by the leader of majority. You are the owner of the bill, leader of majority?
Chair, I thought as the mover of the bill, I will have the first chance. But no problem, I have no problem.
But probably as the members debate, my advice would be, leader of majority and chair, probably you could just put your heads together as I give 2 or 3 members to just make some comments on this. Because you are basically speaking to the same thing, but one is going further than the other one. So I will give the I'll propose the question that clause 3 be amended as proposed by the chair. And I'll give the first opportunity to speak to this to the Honorable Wamalwa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the amendment by the chair as proposed by the chair of the committee. When you look at it, Mr. Speaker, it is all inclusive. Different critical stakeholders are actually represented. So in case of any conflict or whatever, I think the representation is there and it can be ironed out in an amicable manner. I do support. Thank you.
Chair, you know, I have absolutely no problem with the amendment by the chair, but we need to define who is Consumer Federation of Kenya. Are they a legal entity? You know, this is a board that must conform with the Mongozo principle and must conform with the parastatal reform sector laws. So I'm asking the chair, there are many amorphous groups that call themselves Consumer Federation of Kenya. So, I mean, how do we legislate? Yeah, Chair, I think...
The Honorable Mutua Barasa. Chair, I'll give you an opportunity. Don't worry.
Thank you, Chair. I'm just wondering and going through the people who form up the council. These are too many people. I'm wondering whether some of them are relevant, like the Bank Association of Kenya. What would be the relevance in this board? So instead of bloating this council with too many people, because when you want to debate quality, you have fewer people who are going to add value, not just adding very many people for other interests that I even don't know, Mr. Chair.
The Honorable Wachira Kabinga.
Thank you, Chair. I arise to support the amendment by the committee, the ABLE committee, but I would like to seek some clarification. Number one, when we take goods to the warehouse, some trading will take place inside there. An exclusion of the PS trade probably needs to be clarified, Chairman, Mr. Chair. Also on L, one person nominated by Kenya Warehouse Operators Association. Is this in anticipation that there will be an association called Kenya Warehouse Operators Association? And if so, do we pass a bill without it being formed? Thank you, Chair.
The Honorable Undo, I'll give you opportunity right away after the Leader of Majority.
Chair, if you look at my amendment, the council shall consist of the chairperson appointed by the president, principal secretary for the time being responsible for matters related to agriculture, principal secretary for that time responsible for matters related to finance, principal secretary for that time being responsible for matters related to trade, the attorney general, the director general of Agriculture, Food and Fisheries Authority, one person nominated by the Council of Governors, which is good because these warehouses will be in council, one person appointed by the Cabinet Secretary, and the Chief Executive Officer. Those are 9 members. My question is, and you give chance to the chair, these other bodies have no problem. Even the Kenya, where, in fact, even we need to add the bankers. I think the bankers are very important because of the element that they will use the goods in the warehouse as a security to collateral. But Kenya Warehouse Association and the Kenya Consumer Association, do they exist?
They don't. They don't at the moment.
The Honorable Undo.
Aiko? Na warehouse. They will be formed, but
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I rise also to join my colleagues in raising reservations in respect of the amendments proposed by the Chair, Departmental Committee on Agriculture, Livestock, and on respect of this particular matter. Mr. Chair, ordinarily, a council to be effective or a board to be effective, it requires to be a reasonable number. This, what we have here, is literally a crowd. You cannot make substantive decisions in a crowd. Number 2, we tend to have groups that do not exist in law, are not recognized in law. I don't know who is Consumer Federation of Kenya. I have searched. I do not know in which particular act of parliament they are anchored. Number 2, one person nominated by the Kenya Warehouse Operator Association, we cannot include in the act things that do not exist, that are futuristics, are anticipation. We cannot legislate in anticipation. We must only deal with things that exist, things that are definable, organizations or bodies that we can define. I wanted to raise further amendments, but luckily enough, amendments by the leader of majority party seems to incorporate our concern concerning the issue of warehouse receipt as a commodity which must be traded. Therefore, you cannot exclude the Ministry of Cabinet Secretary for trade and related matters. Thank you.
Very well. The Honorable Kimunya.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Chairman, I've looked at this list, and I agree with all the members who have expressed reservations, first of all, on a bloated council. We know Kenya Farmers Association is a moribund body that died a long time ago. We are now trying to reinvent them by giving them to come and have a role within this warehousing system when they terribly failed farmers. COFEX, these are consumers. We bring in some activism into what should be a trading platform. We need efficiency in these organizations, not bureaucracy. When you look at East African Grain Council, Consumer Federation, Kenya Bankers Association, Kenya Warehouse Operators Association, the next thing you're going to ask people agitating, Kenya Transporters Association, they also want to be there. Market People Association, they also want to be there because they also have an association with warehousing. The leaner, the better. And I think, fellow members, so that we don't waste a lot of time on this thing, we either ask the Chair of Agriculture to withdraw it, or we vote against this one, and we adopt the amendment brought in by the leader of majority, which, without anticipating debate, also has a duplication between the PS Agriculture and the Director General of Agriculture, but we can live with that. That we can live with. It's a small thing. But in terms of this, if you start bloating a new organization with this kind of organization, you're basically getting people here to just come and earn their honoraria and allowances and kill a body that we desperately need to sort out and revolutionize trading in our commodities in this country. So, Mr. Chair, let me urge my fellow members that we, in the absence of the chair withdrawing it, you call it to vote, we get rid of it, and we move on with the next amendment.
Very well. We shall have the voice of Kevin Wanyonyi on this.
Mr. Chairman, I think it's a misconception of the representation. I want to make that correction. I think the Committee of Agriculture has done what they call benchmarking. And the other information that we have gotten from areas, one of which is, for example, India, Mr. Chair, which is a successful story. Brazil beer is a very successful story. They have representative of these associations to make, because it's a new concept in this country, and therefore we don't want just to have it because we want to have the easy way out. We have done, and I think the Committee of Agriculture has gone out of the way to benchmark in areas where this system has worked. One of which, and I want to make it clear to the members, the last year, last Parliament, I had the opportunity, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, to go to India. And I had time to visit various warehouses. Now, what it means here, leader of the majority, as opposed to this, what is happening here is that there are going to be various warehouses countrywide. And therefore, they are going to have their own association to be able to understand the system. Because we're going to have a warehouse in every other places. It's not going to just be one place. So therefore, the one person from the Kenya Warehouse Operators Association is going to be there. Bankers, because as you know, there's going to be some monetary and the whole thing. So, you know, it appears, but it's a new thing. We have done the benchmarking. It's been successful elsewhere. And therefore, this composition is representative of what is going to happen, those who are concerned. Chair, I support the inclusion.
Chair, just a final one before I give it to the House.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. I just wanted to correct again a misconception. You know, I think members who have contributed in the negative probably have not had the chance to look at the warehouse receipt system bill, which is already published. What I want to make clear is that when we were starting the whole process, Ministry of Trade also wanted for us to accommodate them in this bill. But because we were dealing with the issue of fresh produce and commodities, which is basically agriculture, we decided to separate the two. So we allowed the trade, they can do their warehousing system themselves, and while we limit now the warehouse receipt system in its current form under the Ministry of Agriculture, which is going to basically deal with farm produce, which is cereals, and to basically hedge the price and as well as reduce post-harvest loss. And so when we are talking about removing bankers association, we are talking at warehouse receipt system, which is supposed to be something which can be traded by the banks. The farmers can, after taking their wares to the operator, they are issued with the receipt. This receipt, they can then use it to access credit. So there is no way we can now not allow the Bankers Association to be part of this, because they are the biggest stakeholders in this. So, Chair, I would, much as I agree probably that we cannot legislate in anticipation, we may remove then the Consumer Federation of Kenya and this other body that was, has not already been formed, but then the other part of the information must remain intact.
Honorable members, honorable order members, I think we've had sufficient debate on this. It is the business of the House now. I will therefore now put the question that clause 3, subclause 3, be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? No. The noes have it. The nays have it.
If the nays have it, you allow the leader
Honorable members, now that the nays have it, then we shall proceed in this manner. We shall then allow the leader of majority to move his proposed amendment to clause 3, subclause 3.
Chair, I beg to move that clause 3, subclause 3 be amended as provided in the order paper. And Chair, I want to make it clear. It's about the composition. This is one of the first pieces of legislation in our country. And it doesn't hurt anybody. And why are we having warehouse receipts? We want to introduce efficiency in how we handle and help farmers. But at the onset, if we introduce amorphous organization, then we will create bureaucratic systems where these organizations, for them to run their day-to-day operations, they will ask for certain amounts of money to be paid to them. The cost will go up. We have no problem. Once we put this law in place with the council, because the Council of Governors is represented, the sector ministers are represented. If after 6 months, professional bodies related to this law are formed, then we can come and amend the warehouse receipt 2018. But right now, I want someone to tell me, even what is the role? Even when I supported, I think I made a mistake. Even the bankers cannot be there. Because the bankers are supposed to offer. They can't sit in the council. There will be a conflict of interest. There will be a complete conflict of interest. Is when you do the service of a warehouse, it is the customer who will go to the bank to get a guarantee. So there's no way you can have the bank to sit in the council. Secondly, all of us, we know the Consumer Federation of Kenya. These are amorphous. They are not even registered. They are amorphous. And I agree with Honorable Wanyonyi, yes, there are countries, Kenya warehouse receipts. You know what's happening in this country? When people see a piece of legislation, in anticipation, they form organizations. So these organizations were formed when they realized this law is in the house. And this is a very new law. Let us first put the necessary infrastructure in law now. If we feel 6 months later, and by the way, this bill is coming from the Senate. And the way I'm seeing with these amendments, this bill will end up through a mediation. Because we have brought serious amendment, the committee, the ministry, which have written to me, and other members. So we'll end up in a mediation. So I really want to ask the chair to agree with me that for now, let us keep the council to be the three principal, a lean council, the three principal secretaries which have been are relevant. Then we have the Director General of the Food, Agriculture, Food and Fisheries. When we have the Attorney General in case of a legal matter. Then we have a member of the nominated by the Council of Governors, because the warehouse will happen in the counties. And then we will have a person to be nominated by the Cabinet Secretary, which could represent even this organization you are saying. He can look at this organization and the Cabinet Secretary can represent. Then we have the CEO. I beg to move.
Very well. Allow me to propose the question first, the Honorable Kevin. I propose the question that clause 3, subclause 3, be amended as proposed by the Leader of Majority. We shall start with the Honorable Member for Saku.
Thank you very much, Chair. I stand to support the amendment proposed by the Leader of the Majority. I think the problem we have, and it's really important to point out that we should not be legislating in vain, because as we propose laws here, they must stand the scrutiny of time. The purpose of having a council is actually for decision and policy making in institution. And the reason why outsiders, because most of those who are proposed to be members of this council are outsiders who are likely to have pecuniary interest when they are in this organization. So for that reason, I think it should be allowed to be as lean as possible, but also reflect the wider interest of government and also the wider interest of farmers and also the grain producers. When we are going to have...
Honorable Raso Ali, I just want to remind members that this is the committee of the whole house. It's not the second reading. You should be brief, probably 1 minute or so.
Point taken, Chair. I beg to support.
The Honorable Nyikal.
Chair, I tend to oppose this for a very simple reason. We are going to have an organization where individuals or organizations are going to form warehouses where they actually store farmers' grains. They need serious regulation, I agree. But this, as proposed by the leader of majority, it is purely government. So what we're really going to have is a government department. I have no, except this person by the Council of Governors, I had a problem with the chairman's amendment that to go on because it included somebody, an organization that we didn't know exists. But as it is in the bill, all these organizations are actually legal and they exist. And actually, an organization like this will need people who are actually participating, not government officers alone sitting and making a decision. This council will be a government department prone to direction by the government as it wishes. I oppose this amendment.
Very well. The Honorable Wangwe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I rise to oppose. I want to oppose this because of one very critical issue. The warehouse receipt system, Chair, is a bank in form of commodities. It's going to rotate around, charge around the security for the purpose of trading and for the purpose of warehousing and attaining a certain value later on. Therefore, the way majority leaders proposed the council to be, it's leaving out very instrumental, is only charging with the finance department of the government. Therefore, it's leaving out Kenya Bank Association, which is very critical in terms of ascertaining where the rotation of the commodity is going to be. Therefore, I stand to oppose, Chair.
The Honorable Nguchine.
I take this opportunity to support the amendment by the majority leader. And the reason is that as it is, this amendment is reducing the number of the people who initially they are indicated as consisting the council. The previous number was a crowd. And when it is a crowd, Chair, it is unable to make a reasonable decision. And as it is now with the community outside, the Kenyan citizen, to reduce the number as it has been reduced by the majority leader through amendment, it is reducing the burden from Wanjiko. Because the moment we put a crowd there, as it has been before, it means clearly that we are going to burden the taxpayer. But Chair, as to add to this amendment by the majority leader, still this size of the number he has indicated, this number is still unmanageable. It's not manageable to have 9 people of a matter which can be handled by 3 people. For there is an implication. If you look at clause B, 3, subclause 3 in B, C, D, that's an implication because one of the permanent secretaries can stand for the other. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm saying that there is an implication in the same, and I support this amendment by the majority leader
with that reservation that it should be looked upon properly. That's my contribution. I support.
Member for Kinango.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to support the amendment by the Leader of Majority. And in fact, I want to be very brief because this is in line with Mwongozo guideline whereby the members nominated are 9 as opposed to what was proposed by the chairperson of Agriculture, the Committee on Agriculture. Some amorphous organizations that do not exist in law. So I support the amendment by the Leader of Majority.
Honorable members, order. Honorable members, order. I now put the question that clause 3, subclause 3, be amended as proposed by the Leader of Majority. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? Honorable members, just relax. This is our process. We shall have a retake on it. We shall have a retake on it. The Honorable Nyikal, just relax. Just relax. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 3, subclause 3 be amended as proposed by the Leader of Majority. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? Honorable members, there's nothing out of order, the Honorable Kevin. You want to advise the Speaker on how to take the vote? You cannot do that, the Honorable Wanyonyi, you know that. Honorable members, I'm going to have a third take on this. Those voices were too close to call. I am calling for a third call on this. No. Honorable members, this is the final one, and we must make a decision on this. I now put the question, which is that clause 3, the Honorable Nyikal, you cannot be saying no when the Speaker is putting the question. Order, members. Order, members. Members, I put the question that clause 3, subclause 3 be amended as proposed by the Leader of Majority. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The nays have it. Members, I now put the question. The consequential question then is this. That clause 3, subclause 3, be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? No, honorable members, let's. I need you to understand what the consequences are. Very well. Let me give you the question again. Let me have your retake of. There's no point of order. Honorable members, the question is this. The Honorable Nyikal, there must be order in the House. There must be order in the House. Honorable members, I put the question that clause 3, subclause 3 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. Honorable members, we shall then now move to subclause 4, 3, clause 3, subclause 4, as proposed to be amended by the Leader of Majority.
Chair, I beg to move that subclause 4 be amended as provided in the order paper, and just as a person who is appointed as a council member will have the following qualifications, just to make sure that he has experience and expertise and qualifications in agriculture, in warehouse, and commodity markets.
I propose the question that clause 3, subclause 4 be amended as proposed by the Leader of Majority. I see interest from the Honorable Washira. Subclause 4. Very well, members, then I will then move on to put the question that clause 3, subclause 4 be amended as proposed by the Leader of Majority. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. So we now put the question. Yeah? We'll put the final. Honorable members, we shall now move on to subclause 5 of clause 3. But if you look at your order paper, you will see that there's a proposal by the Leader of Majority to delete. So we shall move by the proposed amendment by the Leader of Majority. If it is carried, then the one by the chair will fall by the way. Leader of Majority? Subclause 5 of clause 3. You are looking at page 1747. 1747 of your order paper. 1747.
Chair, I have dropped that amendment.
Very well. That proposed amendment by the Leader stands dropped. Chair, we shall now consider the proposed amendment to that subclause by the Chair. That is page 1741 at the top.
Chair, I move the amendment as it appears on the order paper, and the justification is that we are merely seeking the amendment to provide for appointment of the chairperson by the President, and if so, then we do not need the first sitting to appoint the, to elect the chair and the vice chair. Thank you.
Leader of Majority?
Chair, I think I have the right bill. Can you have a seat? You know I'm on my feet. This is how Parliament works. Chair, I have the Senate bill, and clause 3(5).
Yes.
The council shall have its first sitting, elect a chairperson, and I think I agree with the chair for deletion in the sense that already we have provided for the format of how the chair is to be is to be elected, and the chairperson is supposed to be appointed in line with the other organizations appointed by the president. So then Section 5 and even Section 6 does not hold any water, so the deletion, I think, is supported.
Leader Majority, you jumped the gun. Allow me to propose the question that clause 3, subclause 5 be amended as proposed by the chair. I think then you have Chair, it is okay. You had already made your point. Yes. And I believe leader has made his contribution. Then allow me then to put the question that clause 3, subclause 5 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Leader, you also have a proposal to delete clause 3, subclause 6 on page 341 of the order paper.
Chair, I beg to move that clause 3, subclause 6 be amended as provided in the order paper. And the reason for that is that if you look at clause 3, subclause 6, the appointment of the chairperson is already provided for in the revision C, subsection 3.3, in line with the Mwongozo requirements. Why I want to delete is that, you know, it talks about the chairperson and the vice chairperson shall be of the opposite gender. That, I think, is administrative. It always happens. If the president appoints a chair from the male or the female, once the council sits, they will elect a vice chair from the opposite. So we're just doing what's already in the Mwongozo principle.
Very well. I propose a question that clause 3, subclause 6 be deleted as proposed by the leader of majority. I put the question that clause 3, subclause 6 be deleted as proposed by the leader of majority. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Chair, you have a proposal to make an amendment to subclause 9 of clause 3.
Thank you, Chair. I rise to propose the amendment as it appears on the order paper. And the justification is that the amendment seeks to clarify circumstances under which a person may vacate office, that is in contravention of the Public Officers Ethics Act and any other relevant law, and also upon conviction of an offense and sentenced to 6 months imprisonment without an option of fine. The provision in paragraph G Act provides that persons may vacate office for an offense involving moral turpitude or corruption. However, this provision is subject to abuse as an interpretation to what amounts to moral turpitude is not very clear. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 3, subclause 9 be amended as proposed by the chair. I put the question that clause 3,
clause 9.
Yes, subclause 9. I put the question that clause 3, subclause 9 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 3 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 4.
I put the question that clause 4 be part. I propose the question, not put. I propose the question that clause 4 be part of the bill. Chair, you have a proposed amendment to this?
Thank you, Chair. I propose amendment as it appears on the order paper, and the rationale behind it is the amendment 6 in clause 4A to clarify the function of council shall be to facilitate the establishment, maintenance, and development of a warehouse receipt system for agricultural commodities produced in Kenya. This is limited to agricultural commodity produced in Kenya. Further amendments then seeks to reinstate the functions of the council, which is to issue or suspend or revoke registration or license issued under the Act. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable members, we are dealing with clause A, the entire of it. He is dealing with it as it is, A and B together. I will then now propose the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed by the chair. Leader of majority, followed by the Honorable Nyikal.
I thought in clause 4, as I support, the chair is introducing, the word commodities.
Yes.
No, Chair, I can read, so relax. You are inserting the word produced immediately after the word commodities. That I think I have no problem with it, Chair. Produced in Kenya. Where is Kenya? Where is Kenya?
Leader of majority, you are done. We shall have contribution by the Honorable Nyikal.
Chair, I wish to support it, but I just seek a small clarification from Chair, that what this thing is protecting is such that people cannot go to another country, then produce grains and store them here. I support.
Very well. The Honorable Didmas. Did you have an interest on this or you are on phone? I put the question. Honorable Didmas. I put the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 4 as amended be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 5.
I propose the question that clause 5 be deleted. Be part of, honorable members, I propose the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. Chair, you have a proposal.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Just hold on. Just hold on, Chair.
We have not dealt with the clause 4B.
No, we did. We did. We dealt with it in a total way.
In totality?
Yes.
But is that procedural?
it is. Yes, we have dealt with it, both for A and B. So now we're on 5, and he has a proposal to delete.
Thank you, Chair. I rise to propose the amendment as it appears on the order paper, that clause 5 of the bill be deleted. The amendment seeks to delete the provision for function of the county executive committee member as proposed in the Senate bill. The primary function of the council was to regulate the warehouse receipt system through issuance, suspension, and revocation of licenses. The bill had proposed to delegate this function to the council executive committee member, the CEC in charge at the counties. That is what we are seeking to delete. It is unclear the justification for why it was placed in this bill in the first place. The provision as proposed would be tantamount to delegation of a national government function to the counties. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 5 be deleted as proposed by the chair. I see interest from the Honorable Kabinga.
Thank you, Chair. I think I do support the position of the Chair to exclude the involvement of the County Executive Committee. This will delay things. But I have a problem. We have some important functions that were mentioned in that clause, especially F, G, and H. And I'm wondering how the committee would like to have that handled, because it's important that we promote the use of warehouses, especially to the grassroots. People who do not understand what these warehouses are, they need a lot of civic education. So I just want to clarification on how the committee proposes to have, especially those three functions, F, G, and H, handled. If it's by the council, then it needs to be stated somewhere. Thank you.
The Honorable Leader.
Chair, I'm a bit confused and I want to go on record. This is a Senate bill. Okay? This is a Senate bill. And within the reading of the Constitution, this is a bill that emanated from the Senate. And what we are trying to do here, we are trying to delete anything to do with the counties. Yeah. Yes, let me speak. This is Section 5. The whole of Section 5, you are deleting the functions of the county executive responsible for this matter. So ultimately, we are altering the whole framework of the bill. This is a Senate bill. It's not a bill from the national government. And there's no way you can now, as a House, and I think we need the guidance, Chair, whether a bill of, for example, the bill on roads that went to the Senate cannot decide to remove all the functions of the national government on Kenya and give it to the, remove the function of Kenya, Kura, Kera, and give it to Council of Governors. This bill is written Senate Bill number 12 on warehouse receipts. So if we delete this section, we're fundamentally removing the role of the council from the role of the counties. Where are these warehouse receipts being found? They're being found in counties. So I don't see the contradiction between the function of the county executive committee in reporting to the council. But this is giving functions to counties. If you read the title of that, Functions of County Executive Committee. Chair, you need to give us direction. Of course, we'll put the question, but I am very uncomfortable.
Yes, Leader of Majority, I think your concerns are genuine. Chair of Agriculture, just consider it. As we have, you will have the final say, but we'll have contribution from the Honorable Twitoek. What is out of order, the Honorable Kabinga? The Honorable Twitoek, just hold on a second.
Chair, even as we deliberate on this particular bill, I would also like to seek clarification from the owner.
That is not a point of order.
It is, Chair. Because I wanted to know to what extent this bill is not a money bill.
I had already given opportunity to the Honorable Twitoek, who has hardly said a word. So there is nothing out of order by the Honorable Twitoek making his contribution. I will allow you another chance to say what you're saying, but let the Honorable Twitoek use his opportunity.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise to say that I support the position of the chair. I think the leader of majority is a little bit, it's not clear to him. The warehouse bill is really a bill which wants to regulate things at the national level, although it will be also doing things at the county level. And therefore, but originally when we did we included somebody from the Council of Governors. But if we go down towards including the CECs, then this may actually interfere with the functions of the warehouses. The warehouses are going to be independent of really the county governments. It will be run by individuals. It can also be run by governments if they want to have their own warehouse. So we are trying to come up with the regulations which will be independent of the governments, which will safeguard the functions of the warehouses run by individuals. But if you allow a CEC to come and start giving direction, then there will be a problem. Thank you. I beg to support the deletion.
The Honorable Bunyasi.
Thank you, Chair. I haven't said much on this, but I think it would be unwise to completely cut out the developed governments. Let's remember that this is going to be done, a warehouse is going to be a local thing. It's not going to be a national thing in any sense. It's the aggregation of all these warehouses that we are regulating at the national level, or the system. But I think the warehouse will become a very localized arrangement. It could be more than one in a county. I think it would be unwise to completely cut them out at this stage.
Chair, thank you for giving me this chance again. I just wanted a clarification, maybe from the leader of majority, as to what extent this bill is or is not a money bill.
Very well. The Honorable Barasa.
Chair, I want to support deletion, because if you say, we have got so many CECs of agriculture in this county, in every counties. And the same way the chair of agriculture was informed that for people who will be on the board, when he said the council of governors will pick one, he knew that we have got 47 governors. So when you are saying CEC, which is CEC? In Bungoma, they have a CEC agriculture. In Western English, they have CEC agriculture. So, I mean, it will bring confusion and slow down the functions of the board. So I support the deletion when I chair.
The Honorable Yusuf Haji, member for Mandera.
Chair, I stand to support the deletion. This is because this is a warehouse system. Yeah, it's a warehouse system bill. And the system is coming up to regulate nationally. It's not for locally. If we allow that every place we have a warehouse where the CE is going to regulate, then we shall have 47 warehouses systems. And in that case, then it beats the whole logic. And therefore, since this is the system, it has to be regulated. Although the bill originated from the Senate, there was another bill, I think, which also originated from National Assembly before. And the essence is to have one regulatory system all over the country. And therefore, we cannot have CECs in every county to have control of this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Chair, I am looking at the Act, and I think it's important we get the essence. These warehouses will be taking place at the counties. Our Constitution is very clear in terms of the devolution of the functions. Agriculture and trading are devolved functions at the county level. They are regulated at the county level. What this bill was intended to do in Clause 5 is to anchor the devolved function through the Constitution into this bill so that the county executive member, who is defined within this bill as a county executive member responsible for matters relating to agriculture in the respective county, for them to be able to interact with these warehouses which are being operated within their system. Now, if we delete this clause, it means there will be a warehouse in Nyandarua, which the Constitution says should be regulated and managed under the Nyandarua County government system by the CEC in Nyandarua. But there is no enabling law for him to even inspect that warehouse. So it's important that we don't delete just because it's county, right? There was a rationale why this thing was here. At the very least, let's leave it at this point, and at the point of mediation, which will obviously come, then we can look at this matter. But deleting it is actually then denying the county government their power that they be given by the Constitution to perform their function. And remember, the Constitution also says very clearly that Parliament shall provide legislation to enable the county governments to perform their functions. So we cannot then be telling them we are doing a law and then cutting them from carrying out the function which they've been given by the Constitution. So I beg to ask the chair to reconsider this deletion, and let's remain, it's harmless remaining, then we can either review it, we can recommend this, but let's not delete it and then start figuring out how to reinsert it, because we have killed a very critical function of the county governments.
Very well. The Honorable Wangwe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, just on the point of what Honorable Kimunya has said, I want to remind or inform him that the concept here is marketing. And marketing, Honorable Chair, is purely a national function. It is not devolved. Therefore, the aspect of marketing of agriculture is a national function, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable members, allow me to put the question. The Honorable Wanyonyi, you are out of order. No, you are out of order. You cannot behave like that. This is a respectable house. You have spoken, other people have spoken, you will have an opportunity to also speak. So it cannot be like that. Honorable members, allow me to put the question, which is that clause 5 be deleted as proposed by the chair. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The nays have it. The Honorable Kabinga, your question really can be responded to that a consideration of whether this bill is a 114 of the Article 114 of the Constitution bill really is late in the day. That's a consideration that is done much earlier, before the bill arrives here. So it is obvious that that consideration was made and it was well taken care of. We cannot take care of it now. I now put the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 6, 7, and 8.
I propose the question that clauses 6, 7, and 8 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 6, 7, and 8 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 9.
I propose the question that clause 9 be part of the bill. Chair?
Thank you, Chair. I propose the amendment as it appears on the order paper. And the rationale is the amendment seeks to clarify the qualification of the Chief Executive Officer who is required to hold a relevant university degree from a recognized university in Kenya.
I propose the question that clause 9 be amended as proposed by the chair. I now put the question that clause 9 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 9 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 9, clause 10.
I propose the question that clause 10 be part of the bill. Leader?
Which clause?
10. Clause 10.
clause 10. Sorry, I was... Chair, I beg to move that clause 10 of the bill be amended as provided in the order paper. And all that I'm trying to do is to amend by inserting the words company secretary immediately after the word employ. The main reason is just to create clarity as to the staff to be employed who include a company secretary, because it's a new institution.
I propose the question that clause 10 be amended as proposed by the leader of majority. I see interest from the Honorable Bunyasi.
So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I think we made a technical mistake in the grammar in the previous phrase, but I don't know how to cure that, because certainly we didn't intend that the CEO must have graduated in Kenya, but he holds a degree that's recognized in Kenya. I think that was the intent.
The Honorable Bunyasi, you must be speaking to clause 9.
I know. I feel bad about it, but I just think that we have a grammar mistake there.
You know what to do if you are unhappy with it. We shall have the Honorable Barasa.
I support, Mr. Speaker. This is a very important, Mr. Chair, I support. It's a very important, amendment, because company secretary is very important to guide the team in the right direction of the law, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chair, I support.
The Honorable Wangwe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I support, but I would want maybe to remind the Secretariat not necessarily to put it immediately the way the majority leader has said, but put it in terms of grammar, that it includes among others. Otherwise, if you fix it exactly as the way the majority has said, it means it might lose the direction. Otherwise, I support.
Honorable members, allow me to put the question then, which is that clause 10 be amended as proposed by the leader of majority. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I put the question that clause 10 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 11.
I propose the question that clause 11 be part of the bill. I see leader of majority.
Chair, I beg to move that clause 11 be amended as provided in the order paper. And the main reason for that amendment, number one, it seeks to provide that the council shall publish the names of persons engaged as experts in the Gazette, because that clause is provided for. It's also important for the members of the public to be aware of the persons which are being engaged by this council as experts.
Question, which is that clause 11 be amended as proposed by the leader of majority. And now put the question, which is that clause 11 be amended as proposed by the leader of majority. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Will as many as our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And now put the question, which is that clause 11 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Will as many as our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses, clause 12, 13, 14, and 15.
I propose the question that clauses 12, 13, 14, and 15 be part of the bill. And now put the question that clauses 12, 13, 14, and 15 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 16.
I propose the question that clause 16 be part of the bill. Chair?
Thank you, Chair. I propose that clause 16 be amended as it appears on the order paper. And clause 16 of the bill deals with preparation of reports of operation of the Council of the Chief Executive Officers. The amendment, therefore, seeks to clarify that the report to be submitted by the Cabinet Secretary to the National Assembly shall be an annual report. An annual report. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 16 be amended as proposed by the chair. I put the question that clause 16 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Will as many as our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 16 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 17.
I propose the question that clause 17 be part of the bill. Honorable members, there are 3 proposed amendments to this. The first one is by the chair to delete. The second one is by the leader of majority to insert a subclause 4 to the 4A to that particular clause. And there is a further by Honorable Shamala to delete only subclause 3 of that clause. Now, this will be the directions, and this is the way we shall move, honorable members. If the amendment that is proposed by the chair, which is deletion, is carried, deletion and substitution is carried, then the proposed amendment by the leader of majority will fall by the way, and also the one by the Honorable Shamala. So we shall proceed first of all by prosecuting the proposed amendment by the chair. Chair? Chair.
Thank you. Chair, clause 17 basically seeks to delete the fact that CECs are meant to the application of license by the warehouse operator to the CEC. But since we have retained the CEC in the previous clause, this one stands dropped. Yeah? See, this one dropped. I've dropped.
No, he has dropped it. Very well, and sensible to drop that one. So the proposed amendment by the chair stands dropped. Yes. We shall then consider the proposed amendment by the Honorable Shamala before we come to the one by the leader of majority. Yes, right away.
Chair, I beg to move that clause 17 of the bill be amended by deleting subclause 3 and substituting, therefore, the following new clause. The County Executive Committee member may issue a license where the applicant meets all the requirements set out in the prescribed regulations, decline to issue a license for the conduct of a warehouse where the County Executive Committee establishes that the warehouse is not suitable for the proper storage of agricultural commodities. The operator is incompetent to conduct such warehouse I wish to make a further amendment to insert that they conduct such warehouse operations in accordance with this act and regulations made hereunder, and there is any other sufficient reasons within the purpose of the act for not issuing such licenses.
The Honorable Shamala.
Yes?
You are proposing to amend beyond what you have has been captured in the order paper.
I think it's grammar, Chair. It says the operator is in. Okay, I'm not proposing to amend. The operator is incompetent to conduct such warehouse in accordance with this act and the regulations made hereunder, as it is, Chair. Yes.
Very well.
And then clause 3B, Romans 3. This is in any other sufficient reasons within the purpose of this act for not issuing such licenses. The rationale and justification being that if you were to leave it the way it is open, it would have been open-ended. We must be precise. We must not have it open to abuse and to subjectivity of the executive committee. In other countries, the legislation is very clear, under which specific conditions you will not issue the license. It can't just be a blanket.
I propose the question that clause 17, subclause 3, be amended as proposed by the Honorable Shamala. Leader of Majority?
Chair, I beg to support, and because we retained the other clause on the establishment and the functions of the county executive, anything else in this bill remaining is a constitutional amendment. There's no way you can delete. And I really want to thank the chair. Secondly, and more fundamentally, let us not have a mindset of our national government. What we are dealing with, the grain we are dealing with, the warehouse we are dealing with, all of them are devolved. Yes, devolved. You know, the National Assembly should run away from this feeling that the Constitution is very, very clear. So I really support that the county executive at the county level must have certain powers to deal with those, warehouse receipts in their counties. And I really want to thank Honorable Shamala, because at least it has given the conditions under which a license can be. So as we move forward, we must have in mind that what the Constitution has devolved, we cannot undo it here.
Now the Honorable Kevin Wanyonyi. You see, the Honorable Wanyonyi, when you are patient, good things come to you. Yes. No, don't be upset. Never be upset. Yes.
For county system, we're talking about the national system. I want to agree with the leader on what is suggesting. This system we're coming up with. Sorry. No, I was here. Why do I want me to move here? Hey, wana, you not sumbua mimi. Chair, all I want to say is that the system we are trying to introduce in this country, we are getting lost somewhere. And let's not be in a hurry. Because the moment you get lost, we lose.
Also, stands dropped. Thank you.
I now put the question that clause 20 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of that opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 21.
I propose the question that clause 21 be part of the bill. Honorable members, there is a proposed amendment to delete by the chair. So we shall start by that one. And then there is a proposed amendment by the leader of majority and a further one.
Thank you, Chair.
Shamala. Chair, you
this
start.
is again, this stands dropped because it is inconsequential. Thank you.
Very well. Leader of majority? Yes.
Chair, I beg to move that clause 21 be amended as provided in the order paper. And this is just to provide that the council may suspend the operations of a warehouse, operators, inspectors, the weighers, the graders, or any other service providers operating under this act for failure to comply with any provision of this act. As clear as that.
I propose the question that clause 21 be amended as proposed by the leader of majority. I put the question that clause 21 be amended as proposed by the leader of majority. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of that opinion say nay? The ayes have it. There is a further amendment proposed by the Honorable Shamala. The Honorable Shamala?
I beg to move that sub-clause 21 of the bill be amended to read as follows. in subclause 4 by inserting this clause, the sub... Yes.
Leader of Majority, what is out of order?
Just procedure. I really want Honorable Shamala just to say as per the order paper and then
Very
give
well.
justification.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Because if she reads...
Okay, fine. Okay, as per the order paper. And the justification, Chair, is as follows. That when the word offense is used, you must have, they cannot be an offense without it must be accompanied by a subscribed penalty. There's a penal component of this section that states that there's been a violation, a breach of law or rule, or an illegal act, and it follows that a penalty must be prescribed.
Very well. I propose a question that clause 21 be further amended as proposed by the Honorable Shamala. I now put the question that clause 21 be further amended as proposed by the Honorable Shamala. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 21 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 22.
I propose the question that clause 22 be part of the bill. Chair?
Thank you, Chair. This clause also stand dropped because it is inconsequential. Thank you.
Very well. The proposed amendment by the Chair stands dropped. Therefore now, there is another one by the Leader of Majority. Very well. I now put the question that clause 22 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 23.
I propose the question that clause 23 be part of the bill. Chair?
Thank you, Chair. That clause 23, I propose that clause 23 be amended as it appears on the order paper, and the rationale behind it is that the amendment provides for appointment of the chairperson of the Warehouse Receipt Appeals Committee by the Cabinet Secretary and the qualification thereafter. It further provides that the CS shall appoint 2 persons with experience in dispute resolutions. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 23 be amended as proposed by the Chair. I now put the question that clause 23 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. There's further amendment proposed by the Leader of Majority.
And Chair, from this, I will give my 2 other remaining amendments to Honorable Cecily. Yeah, I beg to move that clause 23 be amended as provided in the order paper. And Chair, the justification is just the amendment seeks to rename the Warehouse Receipt Appeals Committee to be known as Warehouse Receipt Systems Dispute Resolution Committee, and this is in line with the functions. The amendment also includes an additional function for the committee, which is to make a determination in disputes relating to complaints by registered, licensed, or other persons operating under this act. So just to make it more neater.
I propose a question that clause 23 be amended as proposed by the Leader of Majority. I now put the question. I see interest from the Honorable Nyekal.
Chair, I just see clarifications because it seems to imply that the dispute will only come from operators. What about the people who are putting their produce in the warehouse? are they also involved here? Because the second part says, by other persons operating under this act. Do we involve the persons who put their produce in the warehouses or just the operators? I just wanted that clarification.
The Honorable Nyekal, from what I see there, I don't know what we are speaking to, whether it is there, but it is from page 1748. DA, complaints by registered, licensed, or other persons operating under this act. Yes, it does. The Honorable, I think we are covered. We need to make progress. Honorable members, allow me then to put the question that clause 23 be further amended as proposed by the leader of majority. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. The Honorable Shamala, you had a proposed amendment which was similar to the one that was made by the leader of majority?
Yes, Chair.
Yes.
I beg to move that clause 23 be amended as per the order paper. And really, the rationale was that bodies that are...
The Honorable Shamala, if I could just assist you.
Yes.
Because your amendment is speaking to the, in very similar terms to the one that we have just carried by the leader of majority. It's basically the same. So...
I'm renaming committee to a tribunal. Chair.
It's the same, but renaming committees and tribunals. Yeah, because the lead has already done with
because they're quasi-judicial bodies, because they have they've put a lawyer to be, isn't it, in the act?
Yeah.
So it isn't.
So it's okay. So it will change the others.
Now that the one by the leader has passed, I think
okay.
it will be prudent to drop this one. It will be tedious.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Fine.
It will be
I
tedious.
can drop that, Chair.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Shamala, for allowing us to. So the proposed amendment by the Honorable Shamala to clause 23 stands dropped. I will now then put the question that clause 23 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 24.
I propose the question that clause 24 be part of the bill. Chair?
Thank you, Chair. I propose that clause 24 be amended as it appears on the order paper. The rationale is to provide for the Council to make guidelines on the minimum qualification and competencies required of graders and weighers who undertake grading of agricultural commodity stored in those warehouses. Thank you.
I propose the question that clause 24 be amended as proposed by the chair. The Honorable Kabinga?
Thank you, Chair. I do support what is being proposed by the Chair, but I would want to get a clearer picture, Chair. Grading is a very important function with a potential to bring a lot of conflicts and disputes. And I wanted to know from best practices on what they may have marked on, these graders, are they part of the warehouses as employees? Are they independent people out there? Do they operate like veterinary officers who visit various slaughterhouses and inspect cows? How does it work, Chair? I really want to get a clearer picture on these graders.
The Honorable Undo.
In principle, Chair, I support an amendment, the proposed amendment, but I just want to bring to the attention of the chair of the committee that there is an act of parliament that is coming relating to accreditation, weights, measures, testing, and everything. Probably, I don't know if it's too late in the day, instead of having direct reference to Kenya Bureau of Standards, probably could in relation to anybody or any corporate or anybody that is authorized by law to provide accreditation and testing services. We have a bill before the House here, I think it's the second reading.
The Honorable Undo, you cannot anticipate. But in any event, I am presently alive, and we even have a Kenya accreditations, I think authority or service, something along those lines.
Chair, if you allow, could I inform you, or it's not allowed? If you allow. The truth of the matter, what we have now was established by legal notice number 50 or 55 of 2009. We are now in the process of bringing a substantive law, and it's at the stage of public participation. So I just wanted to draw the attention to the House that probably could make it neater by generally referring to the relevant law, because the institutional circumstances will change.
Very well, very well, very well. You are right. What we have now was operationalized by a legal notice. So the honorable members, allow me then to put the question, which is that clause 24 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And now put the question that clause 24 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 25.
I propose the question that clause 25 be part of the bill. But the Honorable
thank you, Chair. I propose that clause 25 be amended as it appears on the order paper. And this is because the amendment provides for the Council to appoint and gazette inspectors who inspect agricultural commodity stored in licensed warehouse and records relating to warehouse receipts and make regulations related to the same. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 25 be amended as proposed by the chair. Yes, the Honorable Ongera Janet.
Thank you, Chair, for giving me this opportunity. I support this amendment, but when I look at the amendment, Chairman, I find that there is a problem in having the Chief Executive Officer, the council inspectors or authorized officers inspecting. There'll be too many loose cannons. I thought, Chair, the Honorable Chairperson of this committee should have maybe proposed that the Chief Executive Officer or authorized officers, so that you don't have so many tasks being duplicated without proper control. Thank you.
The Honorable Didmas.
Thank you, Chair. I want to agree with the Honorable Janet, because when you say in some situations the Chief Executive Officer might not be competent enough to inspect a warehouse. So it must be very clear that the responsibility of inspecting the warehouses should be in the hands of inspectors, not just any officer. So it must be very clear either by saying that the Chief Executive Officer shall appoint inspectors who will be doing the inspections. But if you just leave it open, then it means people will just be ticking boxes. And these are warehouses for commodities, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair.
Honorable members, just before I give the Honorable Mbarire, you will see from your order paper there's an amendment proposed to the same clause by the leader of majority. If you could look at that also at page 1748, and see whether it is speaking to what members the Honorable Ongera and the Honorable Barasa are speaking to. I will then give the Honorable Mbarire this opportunity to speak to this. The Honorable Mbarire?
Chair, we have a further amendment to the same clause that probably will cure the concerns that the members have raised. Yeah. So can I proceed or?
Yes, thanks, Chair. Chair, when I look at the amendment by the Chair and the amendment by the leader majority, I'm inclined to go with the Chair because we're dealing here with, high-value produce, and by limiting it that it's only an inspector who can inspect, we would actually deny a situation where you might want at some level to actually send the chief executive officer himself to go and carry out that inspection. Now, what we have here is not a number of people going to inspect. It's one or the other. It's an enabling clause that says the chief executive could actually go and do a random inspection. And you don't want to deny him that. Any appointed council inspector could actually do it, or authorized officers. And then it also provides further on how those inspectors that the council shall appoint and gazette the inspectors. So I actually would find this better rather than just saying an inspector will go and do it, because you are denying then the chief executive, who might be called upon by parliament to actually go and lead that inspection. But he says, the law does not allow me. It only allows an inspector to go. He's the one responsible for oversight of these things. Let's give them that mandate to actually do it. And I agree with the chair that this perhaps is a better formulation.
The Honorable Wanyonyi.
I support the chair on this because in this exercise, we have designated inspectors who actually be identified and gazetted. I don't know how they've been be identified, maybe by batches, whatever. So those are the people that the council have sent to go out to inspect. If there's anything in a dispute, that the people will be responsible. So I support the amendment by the chair.
The Honorable Wangwe.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, the word inspection here is very, very wide. It should not just be limited to quality alone. It carries also including the numbers. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, you cannot tie it to one person to say a quality inspector or a quantitative inspector. Therefore, I want to support the amendment by the Chair, read number 1 together with number 2. It should
Honorable
be read
members,
together. Thank you, Chair.
Allow me then to put the question, which is that clause 25 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Now that the one by the Chair has been carried, the one that is proposed by the Honorable Leader of Majority fails. I will then now put the question that clause 25 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 26.
I propose the question that clause 26 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 26 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 27.
I propose the question that clause 27 be part of the bill. Chair?
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Chair, I move that clause 27 be amended as it appears on the order paper. And the reason is that the amendment seeks to provide power for the CEO or authorized officers to also examine insurance contracts, professional indemnities, warehouse receipt registry, or warehouse license under the Act. Thank you, Chair.
That clause 27 be amended as proposed by the Chair. I put the question that clause 27 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And now put the question that clause 27 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 28.
I propose the question that clause 28 be part of the bill. There's no amendment to this. I therefore put the question that clause 28 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 29.
I propose the question that clause 29 be part of the bill. The Honorable Shamala, you have a proposed amendment to this?
Yes, sorry, I was caught off guard. Clause 29, where is it? Yes, sorry, I beg your pardon, Chair. I beg to move that clause 29 that clause 29 be amended as per the order paper. The rationale being, so hold this, that if we go to clause 29, Chair, you will see that, just a moment, Chair, I was, these words are superfluous. A warehouse receipt has already been, we have already described in interpretations and definitions what a warehouse receipt is. To further go on and start in the main body of the act stating of the bill that it is a document of title to goods and need not be in any particular form is superfluous. The same being in 29(3)(d), F, the particulars of the depositor. All these other things in A, B, C, D, E, G are the particulars of the depositor, the name and physical, well, the particulars of the license number of the warehouse operator, date of issue. I wish to abandon the proposed amendment for 3F. Because it's the particulars of the depositor. I have proposed two amendments on 3.
So you're dropping one?
I'm dropping one, yes, to drop one.
You're
which
dropping B and moving A.
Yes, not A. Okay.
Honorable members, for us to move in an orderly way, the Honorable Shamala has dropped her proposed amendment to clause 29, paragraph F.
Yes.
Which appears as B on your page 1750. She will therefore be moving her amendment to clause 29, subclause 3, as on part A, as in the order paper. Are we together on that? She's dropping that part B, where she was proposing to make an amendment to paragraph F. If you are on page 1750 of your order paper. Are we all of us together? Very well. The Honorable Shamala, prosecute your proposed amendment.
To drop, Chair, or the proposed amendment on 29(3)?
Dropping, you have already dropped.
Yes.
Now
okay.
prosecute the proposed amendment.
As I say, a warehouse receipt shall, and to delete be a document of title, goods, and need not be in a particular form. We just say that a warehouse receipt shall contain the following information. Because it's superfluous, be a document of title. It has been defined in interpretations.
Honorable members, allow me then to propose a question that clause 29, subclause 3, be amended as proposed by the Honorable Shamala. I see interest from the Honorable Undo. What is out of order, the Honorable Wangwe?
Chairman, is the member in order to recite the amendments rather than present the amendments to us? Because what she has said is what she already knows only. We don't have those amendments on the order paper as she has alluded to. Thank you, Chair.
The Honorable Wangwe, if you look at your page 1750.
I have the page with me, Chair.
Yes.
And the amendments she has proposed here reads, delete the words to be a document of title to goods and need not to be in particular form, must contain the following information. She says, substitute therefore the word contain the following information. That does not mean what she has said that we are now debating on the floor now.
What have you understood it to mean, the Honorable Wangwe?
She has reframed it, Honorable Chair. So the reframed version is what I'm asking. Is he in order to reframe it for us, Honorable Chair?
No, that was her explanation, but the amendment is captured here. The Honorable Undo?
I want to make a plea to the good lady, Honorable Jennifer Shamala, and I want us to look at where we are coming from. It is not common practice for the warehouse receipt to be used as a lien, because so far it's not much more, does not probably contain the same effect or gravity or weight like a land title or title to property. So I'm just speculating, probably the drafters of the bill wanted to emphasize the point so that this particular title can be used as security for purposes of a loan in a bank. I'm just pleading with her. Fine, it might look superfluous, it might make much sense in legal terminology, but for purposes of giving effect to the intentions of the drafters of the warehouse receipt system, allow that we retain the wordings as they are. Once it has entrenched itself into the system, we can then make amendments to make it neater in the legal terms as they wish. It's just a personal plea.
The Honorable Barasa, just before the Honorable Shamala responds.
I want to agree with the Honorable Oundo, because I think what the Honorable Shamala is trying to do is to sneak in some legal jargons, because what is in the back of the mind of the drafters is to make this receipt acceptable document in the bank as a collateral. That is what informed the drafters of this bill, Honorable Chair. And I really want to also urge the Honorable Shamala at least to not to water down the essence, the weight of that document, because it's going to be used by the bank as a collateral. Thank you.
The Honorable Shamala.
I've noted the sentiments of my honorable colleagues. I'm definitely not trying to sneak in any legal jargon. I am persuaded, and for the avoidance of doubt, I will drop this amendment. Thank you. I want the biggest one. The biggest one.
The proposed amendment to clause 21 by the Honorable Shamala stand dropped. I will therefore then put the question that clause 29 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 30.
I propose the question that clause 30 be part of the bill. Chair?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I move that clause 30 be amended as it appears on the order paper. Justification for this is the amendment seeks to provide for the central registry of warehouse receipts to be linked to a central depository of a commodities exchange licensed by the Capital Market Authority for purpose of facilitating trade in the capital markets. Thank you, Chair.
I propose a question that clause 30 be amended as proposed by the Chair. The Honorable Jambo.
Chair, you'll excuse for my ignorance, and you'll allow me to use this as a learning process. I do not know whether at this particular time the Chair and his own discretion can again make a little addition to this particular amendment, because the intention of the bill is to ensure that this particular document is a bankable title. And for it to be bankable title, we cannot run away from the Banking Act and the Finance Act, the Banking Act specifically. Is there a way the legal minds can assist us so that we link the two? Yes, licensed by Capital Markets Authority, but essentially it must be something that can be traded or used as security for purposes of financial facility. Is there a way we can include the Banking Act? Because facilities are issued under the Banking Act. Thank you.
Very well. The Honorable Passaris.
Chair, thank you. I'm following the proceedings very well, and I agree that I agree that it should go as is. I mean, for purposes of securities, the way it's laid out, I think it serves its purpose. It shouldn't be amended in any way.
Well, honorable members, allow me to put the question that clause 30 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 30 as amended be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 31.
I propose the question that clause 31 be part of the bill, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I move that clause 31 be amended as it appears on the order paper. And the rationale is that we are seeking for more clarity, what shall be issued when a warehouse receipt is lost, stolen, or destroyed is replacement receipt and not a duplicate receipt, because duplicate can be forged. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 31 be amended as proposed by the chair. I now put the question that clause 31 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a honorable members, I put the question that clause 31 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 31 as amended be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 32.
I propose the question that clause 32 be part of the bill. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I move that clause 32 be amended as it appears on the order paper. And the reason is that the amendment is consequential to amendments proposed in clause 32. It clarifies that the replacement receipt shall have similar standing as the original receipt. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 32 be amended as proposed by the chair. I put the question that clause 32 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 32 as amended be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses, clause 33, 34, 35, 36, and 37, and 38.
I propose the question that clauses 37, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, and 38 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, and 38 be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 39.
I propose the question that clause 39 be part of the bill. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I move that clause 39 be amended as it appears on the order paper. And the rationale is that we are seeking to correct a cross-referencing error. It refers to negotiated warehouse receipts, which carries out pursuant to clause 34 and not clause 35. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 39 be amended as proposed by the chair. I put the question that clause 39 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 39 as amended be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 40.
I propose the question that clause 40 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 40 be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 41.
I propose the question that clause 41 be part of the bill. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I move that clause 41 be amended as it appears on the order paper. And the rationale is that we are also seeking clarity, seeking to clarify the right of transferee of a negotiated warehouse receipt to have the same endorsed by the transferor, and further provide that a negotiated warehouse receipt should be endorsed before it is transferred. Thank you, Chair.
I propose a question that clause 41 be amended as proposed by the chair. I put the question that clause 41 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 41 as amended be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 42.
I propose the question that clause 42 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 42 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 43.
I propose the question that clause 43 be part of the bill. Chair?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I propose that clause 43 be amended as it appears on the order paper. And the rationale is that the amendment seeks to increase the penalty for issuing of fraudulent warehouse receipts from imprisonment not exceeding 5 years or a fine not exceeding 1 million Kenya shillings to imprisonment not exceeding 10 years or a fine not exceeding 10 million shillings. This is basically to raise the punishment higher up. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 43 be amended as proposed by the chair. The Honorable Wanyonyi? Use the next one. Use the next one. It might be more clear.
Who's doing this? I'm not happy. You know, can't move me up on that. What I'm saying, Chair, is that I think I support the Chair for this. You know, corruption in this country is just it's a nuisance. You and I don't like this, and I think for us to be able to deter these people doing the wrong things, I think let's increase the fine for the same. And I quite support the chairman for doing the same. Thank you. Put a question.
I put the question that clause 43 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that 43 as amended, that clause 43 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 44.
I propose the question that clause 44 be part of the bill. Chair?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I propose that clause 44 be amended as it appears on the order paper. The reason is the amendment seeks to increase the penalty for issuing of false information from imprisonment not exceeding 5 years or a fine not exceeding 1 million to imprisonment not exceeding 10 years or a fine not exceeding 10 million Kenyan shillings. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 44 be amended as proposed by the chair. The Honorable Undo.
Chair, thank you for this opportunity. I rise to second and support in order to eliminate, to deter unethical practices, and I have been persuaded by Honorable Wanyonyi to support his cause. Thank you.
Honorable members, I put the question that clause 44 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 44 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 45.
I propose the question that clause 45 be part of the bill. Chair?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I propose that clause 45 be amended as it appears on the order paper. This, again, is to increase the penalty for unlawful issuing of duplicate, this time round duplicate receipts from imprisonment not exceeding 5 years or a fine not exceeding 1 million Kenya shillings. 2, imprisonment not exceeding 10 years, or a fine not exceeding 10 million shillings. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 45 be amended as proposed by the chair. I put the question that clause 45 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 45 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 46 and 47.
I propose the question that clauses 46 and 47 be part of the bill. I put the question that clauses 46 and 47 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 48.
I propose the question that clause 48 be part of the bill. Chair?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I move that clause 48 be amended as it appears on the order paper. The rationale is that the amendment seeks to increase the general penalty fine from 100,000 Kenya shillings to 300,000 Kenya shillings. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 48 be amended as proposed by the chair. I put the question that clause 48 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 48 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 49.
I propose the question that clause 49 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 49 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 50.
I propose the question that clause 50 be part of the bill. Chair?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I move that clause 50 be amended as it appears on the order paper. This basically seeks to give discretion to the Cabinet Secretary to consult the Cabinet Secretary for the time being responsible for trade. As it were, the CS for agriculture was literally must consult. In this case, he's at liberty to consult CS trade. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 50 be amended as proposed by the chair. The Honorable Undo.
Chair, and I can see the chair is acknowledging that I was going to oppose, because once an agricultural commodity product has left the farms, it's now a commodity to be traded. Looking at the arrangement of the systems in this country, it becomes actually the responsibility of the Cabinet Secretary in charge of trade. Giving the Cabinet Secretary in charge of agriculture the generosity, the benevolence to either consult or not is missing the interlink between production, marketing, and trade. I stand to oppose, and I request members to oppose this amendment. It might have been well intended, yes, but the impact is to literally retain this as a cultural product and not as a commodity. And obviously, if we want to take these receipts to become a lien or something that can be used as security for a facility, we must give it the legal force. Thank you.
The Honorable Kimunya.
Honorable Chair, I actually stand to support the chair of the committee. And I actually, I've been in government for 10 years in cabinet. Cabinet works within the framework of collective responsibility, not forced responsibility. You cannot force one cabinet minister through law that they must consult another one. It's assumed that they are consulting. So it's with the benefit of insider information, forcing it here, you're actually creating a situation where if for some reason they did not consult, you are creating some divisions within cabinet through legal. So that's, I believe it's here, not so that to tell them to consult, but as a reminder that they may consult. Or in the situation where things were not working as they should. But making it mandatory, you would actually be creating a gridlock where they actually, you would then be going to court that they did not consult. Where are the minutes that we consulted?
The Honorable Didmas Barasa.
Thank you, Chair. I stand to support the Chair on this. Because, you know, government has systems. And you cannot say that you must. I mean, even it was not even necessary to say consulting is mandatory. If you know you are doing something that you know will fall within the purview of your colleague, you consult. So it's not mandatory that that you must consult the CS of trade. Maybe there are some already laws and guidelines provided by such minister. You just need to implement them going forward. So I really support the chair on this, Honorable Chair. Thank you.
Honorable members, allow me to put the question that clause 50 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, allow me then to propose to put the question that clause 50 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Schedule.
I propose the question that the schedule be the schedule of the bill, be part of the bill. There are two amendments to this. Just hold on, Chair. The leader of majority has proposed to delete, so we shall start with that one. The Honorable Mbarire.
Yeah, Chair, I start to propose that the bill be amended as proposed on the order paper. The justification being, in light of the amendment in the composition of the council, which has a chairperson, the amendment seeks to provide that a meeting of the council shall be presided over by the chairperson, or in the absence of the chairperson, the members present shall appoint one of their members to preside at the meeting.
I propose the question that the schedule be amended as proposed by the leader of majority. I put the question. Honorable members, if you are looking at page 1749, the schedule, the proposed amendment by the leader of majority. Allow me then to put the question that the schedule be amended as proposed by the leader of majority. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. There is a proposed further amendment by the chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I move that schedule be amended as it appears on the order paper. And the amendment seeks to increase quorum for functions of council from 3 to 7, because in light of the importance we attach to this warehouse receipt system. Thank you.
I propose a question that the schedule be further amended as proposed by the chair. The Honorable Oundo.
My sincere apology, Chair. I think I left to attend to some matters when you are sorting out the membership of the council. But surely 7 is an inordinately high number. However important the matter is, I can assure you, you will never get a quorum of 7. Probably, unless I don't know what that percentage relates to the total membership, Chair. What's the number?
The honorable Undo, you're asking the chair.
The chair to
The chair
for
of,
information.
To inform
13.
you. Very well. As he looks for that information, the honorable Nyikal.
Chair wanted the same clarification. The
Very
total
well.
number,
Very well.
7 out of.
Very well. The honorable Wanyonyi.
You may want to revisit. I'm telling. What's wrong with my card? Yeah, you're looking at what we did, Chair, in the previous amendment, the original number was 13. But because of the arguing and what have you, we reduced that, which of course I didn't agree. It's supposed to be 13 as it is here in the amendment, the schedule. Yes, it'll be 13. So I think 7 to me is a fair number because it's a serious case. It's not just a joke in the walk in the park. And therefore, Chair, I suggest, I support 7 is enough. These are serious fellows, representative of everybody else. There must be 7 and above. Chair, I agree, 7 is the right number.
The Honorable Barasa.
Thank you, Chair. Looking at the composition of the council members, and it was very clear that some organizations do not exist. So it's clear that in some circumstances that you will even have a scenario where those purported associations, they could wrangle even for a long time trying to find out whom to second on the board. And putting the quorum at 7, it will be a tragedy. It will be unable, this board will stall. It will stall, it will creating a crisis, Mr. Chair.
Well, the Honorable Tutek.
So whatever that number is, if we had reduced it earlier, because I remember that we moved, I think the majority leader moved an amendment, and we agreed. So I think we shall only go more than half. So probably 5. 5 could be a good number.
Chair, what do you want to do with your proposed amendment before I put a question?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. In the light, I hear the members, and I would like to do a further amendment to 5, to bring the quorum to 5. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, you will then need to give us that so that it can be the further amendment. Yes. Not to recommit. Now that just come and consult with the clerks here, as I give an opportunity to the Honorable Passaris.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I agree. It should be at least 50% of the council members. 3 seemed too little and risky. You could have collusion when you have less members. And 7 also seems too many. Even in our own committee meetings, 5 is quorum. So I think if they can amend it to 5, then we will at least be protecting the sanctity of the board or the council members.
Chair, are you ready? Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I move to propose an amendment to the schedule that paragraph 2 of the schedule be amended in subparagraph 2 by deleting the word 3 and substituting it thereof with the word 5. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that the schedule be further amended as proposed by the chair. I now put the question that the schedule be further amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that the schedule as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Chair? What is it, sir?
Honorable Chair, I move that clause 2 be amended as it appears on the order paper. The amendment defines the role of a warehouse operator more clearly, which is to hire out space for storing of goods. That word, hire out space, was not in the bill. Thank you.
I propose the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the chair. I put the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. There's a further amendment by the leader of majority, the Honorable Cicely.
Mr. Chairman, I wish to propose further amendments to clause 2 as proposed in the order paper, being the amendment seeks to define an inspector, a term that has been used in the bill without being defined.
I propose the question that clause 2 be further amended as proposed by the leader of majority.
Makes sense.
The Honorable Barasa.
Madam Chair, I stand to support these amendments because it's going to provide the definition of an inspector, meaning that even the CEO cannot purport to inspect when he doesn't have the requisite qualifications. He can only endorse or confirm that indeed the contents that have been brought to him by the inspector has been done. It's a very good amendment, Madam Chair. I support.
Put the question. I put the question that clause 2 be further amended as proposed by the leader of majority. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. The Honorable Shamala.
Chair, I beg to move that clause 2 be amended as per the order paper. The rationale being, Chair, that when you say the holder is a person who is in possession of a receipt, that, in my considered opinion, can be quite dangerous, because anyone in possession of that receipt, should it be stolen, can become the holder. And on the definition of the warehouse operator, I'm concerned by the words regardless of whether such goods undergo packaging, processing, substitution, or other transformation while in the warehouse. Again, it is my considered opinion, Chair, that with regards to packaging, etc., these matters shall be dealt comprehensively with in subsidiary legislation.
I propose the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Shamala. I put the question that clause 2 be further amended as proposed by the Honorable Shamala. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Title.
I propose the question that the title be the title of the bill. I put the question that the title be the title of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. The mover? Honorable members, we have completed this. The mover? Give them the mover the bill, the mic.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Warehouse Receipt System Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2017, and its approval thereof with amendments, subject to recommittal of clause 3. I leave it there. Sorry, Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Warehouse Receipt Systems Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2017, and its approval thereof with amendments.
I put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Warehouse Receipt System Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2017, and its approval thereof with amendments. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Or is it him, the chairman? Is it Honorable? Is it Honorable?
The chair will move his bit. The chair will move his bit, then you move the subject to the committee to harmonize the two.
Okay, okay. Do I mention the recommittal here now?
Yes, when you vote.
Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the committee of the whole House has considered the Warehouse Receipt System Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2017, and approved the same with amendments.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request the Honorable Amos Kemunya to second the motion for agreement with the report of the committee of the whole House, subject to recommittal of... Not yet. Okay. Up to the...
Honorable Kemunya.
Yeah.
Honorable members, I propose a question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Yes. What is your point of order, Honorable
Mr. Speaker, it's not clear whether we have a recommittal or not. Because recommittal and we didn't hear what. Yeah, we're going through and discussed it, and we now want to know
what is your point of order, Honorable Nyikal?
But is it in order that we go without being clear what the recommittal is?
Well, Honorable Nyikal, that is, I have just proposed a question. Yes, Honorable Kemunya. We go step by step, Honorable Nyikal, and you see how that rolls out. Honorable Kemunya.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the motion for agreement with the reports of the Committee of the Whole House be amended by inserting the words subject to recommittal of clause 3. Mr. Speaker, when we were in the committee, we did receive amendments from both the chair of the committee, which came from some considered deliberations within the committee. We also received amendments from leader of majority, which had also emanated from consultations within government. And the two seem to have some discrepancies that caused confusion among us within the committee and were defeated. And it would be in the best interest of lawmaking to have the two reconcile those differences, and we recommend that here so that we make a law that serves the better, the establishment of this warehousing reporting system, which is a new thing, rather than just go on a situation where we are stuck to the bill, which contains some organizations that are not defined in law. So as we are now, we risk passing a law that contains some amorphous organizations, but if we give the two some time, then we can commit that particular clause and have it passed in a clearer environment. Mr. Speaker, I move.
Honorable Kimunya, who seconds you on that one?
The Honorable Chair of the committee will do it.
Honorable Chair of the committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Well, I second because we found at the committee stage that we differed. There were positions which were defeated. Positions of ML was defeated. The one of committee was defeated. And we find that the bill needs further consultation. And therefore, I second. Thank you.
Honorable members, I propose a question that the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House be amended by inserting the word subject to recommittal of clause 3. Honorable members, we can't put really the question on that particular one because, yes, for obvious reasons. Well, maybe you can have one. Yes. What is out of order, Nadismas? Give him the mic.
Mr. Speaker, we are doing a very important function of government, but I want to bring to attention that we have no quorum, and we should therefore just you adjourn so that we handle this next matter. Thank you.
Well, very well. Other members, he has raised that. It is on me now, and I confirm we need the bell rung for 10 minutes. Where do you? Other members, the division bell should stop now. 10 minutes are over. Honorable members, in the circumstances, we still don't have quorum. Honorable members, at the time being 10 minutes after 6 p.m., this House starts adjourned till Tuesday, 27th November 2018 at 2:30 p.m.
Nay. The ayes have it.